Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19s. So one thing I do want to add before we get going, just did it. Thought y'all might like this. It should be under the description. Y'all not like us. Here it is, folks. Y'all not like us. It says District 22 under that. We've got Navy. We've got light steel. We've got black. And we've got a deep royal blue as well, whichever one you might like. By the way, I'm going to do at 13,000 subs. I will pick a subscriber who also likes and comments on the video after we hit 13,000 to send one of these shirts to. And it may not be this one, right? So don't not buy this, because we've also got, people like that Me Too shirt as well. So, maybe I'll send you one of those, but go check this out if you think it would be something cool that you would want. Real quick, I'm not going to make this like a 2-minute ad, but I also added it to the hoodie. There's that heavy tee is new, and then also the crew, the long sleeve. So like if we went to one of these, you can also see that it's got the different colors for this as well. So give that a look, but let's move on to the video. So I did this video yesterday, right? Got it all worked out. Thought it was great. Uploaded it. I ended up messing with this video for like 5 or 6 hours because the clips I wanted to show you that were very short kept getting copyright claimed, and I won't go into all that, but anyone doing YouTube understands what I'm saying at. So then I started tweaking it, and anyway, it became a mess. So I thought, I'm going to shoot it over. I'm going to find some other stuff that hopefully I can get through to at least make my point. And I wanted to make this a feel good a little bit without everything that was going on. So, this is something I posted yesterday that got a lot of attention. It's like 3,700 likes on this, if you can believe that. 3,700. Now, again, I'm not big on X on Twitter in terms of having a presence. I search on there, so of course I'm on there. But yeah, and I said Sophie Cunningham 10x'd her popularity, not by pretending to be Caitlin Clark's friend, as the Hatelins like to say. I've seen that a lot, but by standing on business, being the only teammate to stand up for Cece, and backing it up with being a real Barbie, a bad Barbie. Kudos, Miss C. Kudos. And look, I'll caveat, because some people said this to me about, Lexi stood up for her, and when Sheldon was going after the eye poke, yeah, Lexi absolutely stepped in between them. Props to Lexi for that. I get that. AB with the handout on Angel Reese to kind of prevent her from going after Clark. Christy Wallace last year as well, believe it or not, did some of that. And Caitlin Clark has been so unprotected by her teammates. Remember, sorry, AB, I like AB, but remember the Kennedy Carter hit, and Aaliyah Boston stood there and did absolutely nothing, didn't even step towards Kennedy Carter. And so when I say she's the only one, what I mean is, with everything that's going on with Caitlin Clark and the lack of protection we've seen from teammates in the league in the past year plus, I'm talking about someone who actually got in an altercation like this, who got tossed out of the game, who did more than just step between. And look, I know people say, "Oh, well, you don't want to get thrown at." Look, I get that, but guess what? There are points in time when things get so bad that you have to handle your business and make a statement that says, I am not going to allow this kind of behavior toward my teammates. It may cost me a technical. It may get me thrown out of this game, but I'm going to make it clear that it is not open season on Caitlin Clark. It is not open season on whomever the teammate may be, because you all have seen this in the NBA. And so it's just like coaches who selectively say, okay, this is the time where they want to get a technical foul, okay? They're not just arguing with a referee and getting one. They actually want to get one, because, again, they're making a statement. They're standing up for their team. And so there are times when you need something like this. Every game, all the time? No. Okay, but it would have been nice once last season if somebody for the Fever said, No, this isn't going to, even if it is a shove, even if it is a shove to the face, something that says gets them thrown out, fine for that game. Because look, the WNBA doesn't hand out a lot of suspensions. I know a lot of people are trying to get Sophie Cunningham thrown out of the league for a normal foul, which I will show you it was a normal foul. In fact, it was a normal foul on JC Sheldon, not Sophie Cunningham. But there was was it last year? Britt Griner and Rakia Jackson were throwing hands. They didn't even get suspended for that. So, but anyway, so yeah, this is a little bit of a shout out to Sophie Cunningham, but it's also a shout out to all of you, okay? And another player, which we'll see. And if you've been around a while as part of the 19, thank you. And you'll know that I've talked about this player a lot. I'm high on her, and I think she deserves a shout out because she's for what she did in this situation, because she's a little bit under the radar, and we will get that in a moment. But Sophie Cunningham stood on business, and this is a shout out to all of you is what I'm getting at. The CCFC District 22, the Caitlin Clark fans, the Indiana Fever fans. I am not kidding when I just said this 10x her popularity. I'm not kidding with my title about Sophie Cunningham being a legend. She will never pay for a drink in Indy again. This is all that the Indiana Fever fans, that the Caitlin Clark fans have asked from teammates, is to be a team, to have Caitlin Clark's back. And sadly, we have not seen nearly enough of that. So let me get to the whole teammate thing. If I may give you a little bit of a spiel for someone who played, very high level basketball at a very low level. But man, when you are part of a team and you must have your teammates back, you must come together in the locker room. It's the locker room against everyone else, and it doesn't matter what you have brought into that locker room. It doesn't matter your viewpoints on anything else outside of that locker room. When you are in that locker room, when you are performing on the court or on the field, you are a team, and your teammates have to have your back, and you have to have your teammates back. It is you against the world. And if you don't have that, it is very difficult for a team to perform at the level it's capable of in terms of the talent on the team. These X factors, these other things, these intangibles, they matter. Sure, there's the team here and there where they just don't even like each other, but they go out and handle their business. And again, you don't have to be friends outside the locker room, but you have to be teammates when you are on the team. And Sophie Cunningham has shown exactly what that means. Now, here's another one. This is what I put out. I'd like to shout out Demiris Dantas, first Fever into the scrum, and only one really, to help Sophie Cunningham, who got attacked by two players. Lindsay Allen first, by the way, not JC Sheldon, who went for Sophie's throat, and Sophie stood on business, didn't flinch, and was like, whatever. Also checked on her later on the sideline, unlike some others who watched two ladies go after Sophie at the same time. Now, look, you may end up seeing some pictures. I crapped, haha, what's the word? Crop some pictures of Demiris Dantas and what I'm talking about, which I may have to insert in here if you don't see the film, but it's not that big a deal. It's just a little bit. But again, people get what I'm saying. People appreciate this type of thing. Fans appreciate a team that is a team. They appreciate players that they know have the other players back. I mean, this was posted later than the Sophie one, 1,100 likes. Look, when I post something here and there, when I actually post as opposed to making some replies on stuff, you know, 20, 30, 40 likes is, typical, viewed by a few hundred people. This has 56,000 views. So people are appreciating Demiris Dantas and what she has brought to the game. Other thing I'd like to point out, um, that a lot of people didn't see, and this is a reverse angle. So pay attention. I know it's blurry because of where I paused it. This is right after Marina Mabrey took her cheap shot. That far, you can see two Fever, I think, coaches coming onto the sideline. So pay attention to that behind. What you are going to see is Sophie Cunningham wanted out there. See, she was not on the court at the time. Luckily for JC Sheldon, luckily for Marina Mabrey, Sophie Cunningham was on the sideline. And by the way, if she had gone on the court, it's an automatic ejection. So shout out to the coach. I'm not sure who the coach is to grab, but you can see she gets up. Well, boom, right? She's grabbed. She's like, no, 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 no. You can't go out there, Soph. Now he's trying to catch a little extra. Be careful of your wife, my man. But I'm just kidding. But he bear hugged her because Sophie was ready to go out there. And that again, Fans love that. They love to see a team be a team in that they know the players have each other's backs. And that is why Sophie Cunningham was a popular player. Sophie Cunningham leveled up her game incredibly in terms of fandom and popularity. Now, I can't expand this, but this is perfect. I want to show you a couple of things. One, you're going to see what I mean about Dantas after this. Hopefully, I can show you this because this is even just a GIF. This isn't actually video, although I know obviously it is, but you know what I mean. But watch JC Sheldon. See how she is right there? Folks, you are going to see the Sabrina Ionescu move. Remember Sabrina going to the basket and she took a 90-degree turn with her last step to go into Lexi Hull, who was standing straight, hands up in the air, and they called a foul on Lexi Hull, which is an absolute ridiculous call. I'm telling you, and watch Sophie Cunningham's hands, and they're high when it happens. Sophie Cunningham probably doesn't do this if JC Sheldon doesn't commit an offensive foul. Watch JC Sheldon's step. Watch her lower her shoulder. She takes a step. She's not going to the basket anymore. She takes a left-hand turn into Sophie Cunningham, lowers the shoulder into Sophie Cunningham. Okay? Here you boom, offensive foul, and then Sophie grabs. Now watch this. This is what I mean about Dantas, okay? Turner, that's Turner. Turner does nothing. Right, Allen first to her, hand to the throat. There's Dantas, right? Dantas coming in. She got into that scrum. She's like, no, we don't. Again, just real quick, watch it. Boom to the left, and then Sophie puts hands, and then here's Damiris Dantas coming in. And later as well, you will see she checked on her on the sideline, made sure she was okay, stood in front of her as they were going through all of what was going on. And again, shout out CCFC because we've got this, right? By the way, if you go check, when I checked yesterday, I think last night, I went to the Fever store. There were like 4 Clark items there, and nothing else was even on there because they've got to get stuff in. And you see, the Pacers and Fever are dealing with such high demand for merch, and the Pacers too. But come on, their team store is temporarily limiting its online offerings, right? Like that's what I mean. The Fever store just had a few Clark items. It's impossible to prepare for something like this. We've been getting 1,000 orders per night, Pacers Sport and Entertainment tells FOS. FOS. Yeah. Now, I want to show you something. And it switched. Now, this is a great job by Fanatics. Okay. I want to give them a shout out as well because and here's your opportunity. If you haven't gotten one and you want one, go get it because we've got the Sophie Cunningham jersey on Fanatics in stock. This item will ship in 1 business day. Now, if you were there last night, it said out of order, right? When I did my yesterday video, it was out of order. Maybe I'll see if I can crop an image off of that. But they got it back in stock really, really fast. So if you want one, go get one. But really, yeah, I wanted to shout out Sophie Cunningham for having her back, Damiris Dantas as well for having Sophie Cunningham's back. I think that's such an important part of being a team. I think this matters going forward. I think it matters to Caitlin Clark. She's going to see that film of Sophie jumping off the bench. She's going to see that of Lexi stepping to JC Sheldon. She's going to see this with Sophie Cunningham. And she's also going to see Damiris Dantas and how she stood for Sophie Cunningham as well, which is awesome. So I think that's all a good thing for the Fever going forward. But let me know your comments below. I guess I was gonna say I messed myself up. I always say let me know your thoughts in the comments below on all of this. Really appreciate you checking out this video. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.